What it do? What it do? I don't know what happened there. I apparently mixed the last. Listen, it's the preseason here, and that's just I guess how it goes sometimes. How you doing, Judge Shep? How you doing?
I am doing a fantastic, Counselor Q. Welcome back, everybody. The time you have been waiting for is not quite back yet because this is not quite the beginning of our season. But today is the day that quite a few of you teams have been waiting for. Map draft. We are going to be seeing who is going to be playing where. And I'm pretty excited to see what maps we see get selected today.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see because I feel like there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, right? You're limited to your pool of like the killers that you can choose. So when I think right off the bat, like it makes sense, oh, go with something like a cold tower. It's normal, it's cozy, it's homey. Anyone who's played like comp has they know cold tower, right? But at the same time, like that means at any given time it is a map that like the strongest killers can flex on. So if it's towards the end of the season when everyone's vying for a spot, maybe that means every time a new team comes into your spot, you're seeing an S tier killer, which might not be most favorable for you, right?
Absolutely. And we do have, as of last season, we have quite a few teams. So we're going to see a few unconventional maps have to be selected. And I have a feeling the teams who are picking last today are going to have some very interesting options to pick from when it comes to their turn to select maps. You can kind of see on the screen on the right-hand side.
We'll even zoom in. We'll help them out real quick.
Yeah. We'll even zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. You can kind of see what our pool of maps is right there. We have 24 maps.
Yes.
Yes, I can count. We have 24 maps available to be selected. Of course, we only have 16 teams, so not all of these maps are going to be used, but when I said unconventional options, of course, you see your coal tower, you see Suffo Pit, you even see ARP on there. Those are maps that we are more familiar with seeing. But if you look towards the end, you'll see maps like Eyrie of Crows. Mother's Dwelling is on there, which is a little bit unusual as far as comp goes. It's a little bit like those bigger maps are really interesting. So the strategy here is take maps that you will be strong on, that you'll have like on both sides, but also try to see if you're picking first, you have the opportunity to kind of put your later picking opponents into a really weird position.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because even like some of the other maps that you brought up, I mean, we saw last season a map like Temple of Purgation, which is one of the bigger maps you generally don't see much. And I mean, I know we saw them show up on a couple of highlight reels. I mean, we saw a Billy like a 12 hook 4K. Same thing with the Huntress. I think it's one of those risks that you take when you go with a map that is outside of the norm of comp, right? Like things can work out in your favor if you come in with the right strategy, but at the same time, like you never know what somebody could be sitting on in their back pocket as well, that it kind of throws you off kilter. And if that's the case, if you have someone else, we've seen, in the past where when teams come in onto a map like that, when it's not their home field, it kind of helps sway that momentum quite a bit during the series.
Oh, yeah. And I do want to bring up, I think we're doing it a little bit differently this season, right? Because last season you played on the home team's map.
True.
This season we're changing it up a little bit. So you will get 2 games on the home team map, as well as 2 games on the away team's map. So you will be seeing both teams' maps. So you really have an opportunity to shine, but you have to be careful that you're not screwing yourself as well when it comes to having to play on your opponent's map.
So here's a question that I have for you then. If you're going early on, do you think you go more of the approach of let's go with something more traditional, maybe not a cold tower, but maybe more traditional that's a little bit bigger, that could be in the favor of you as a survivor as well, maybe something like a suffocation pit, an ARP? Or do you think you go something more like Father Campbell's Chapel, and maybe even, I mean, we saw Torment Creek was one of our maps that was used by one of our top teams from last season. I feel like last season we saw some of the off meta like maps being really used to the advantage of our higher tier teams.
Oh yeah, I think we do see more of those like, so not obviously. I don't actually think Cold Tower goes that early. I do think we are going to see Suffo Pit and ARP go really early. those maybe even like Sanctum, those maps where you kind of have like that middle area, like a very defined middle area that you can kind of turn into a little bit of a choke point, and then those two sides. I feel like those are going to be the maps that go a little bit earlier because it's a little bit easier to plan, I feel like. Yeah. Also, RNG is not something to mess with because let me tell you, every time I've played on like Cephopit recently, I feel like I always get like a 5 and 2 setup with my gens. Like I've got 5 across the top and only 2 in the bottom.
When you don't need it too, right? Like you log
when you
in
don't need it. Oh my gosh. So terrible.
Like, look, I just need to get 4 gens done, and you're gonna throw 5 of them on that side? Like, bruh, come on now.
Yeah, and it does look like we are gonna be getting started with picking our first map. We do have our first representative here, I believe.
Well, that'd be from Creepy Daddy Michaels, right?
Yes, we do have Toxic Creepy Daddy Michaels joining us in the room. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Big chillin', my guy. Big chillin'. So, look, I mean, we've been waiting for like a week now. We've known the order. You're pick number 1. We know you're the one who has every option on the board. What you guys thinking for your map, for home map number 1?
We're going to go with Cold Tower.
Cold Tower, early. Nice. Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, what's is your thoughts more around that of keeping things a little bit more? I know you guys are kind of coming back from a break, right? So is it just kind of so you guys can kind of keep things more of a routine for you guys on your home map, or what's your kind of like thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it's just the map that they're most comfortable with as Survivor and Killer. So
very fair. Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you guys come back this season, and I'm very excited to see how Cold Tower shapes up for you.
All right, it'll be fun.
Fantastic. So, Shep, you said you didn't think Cold Tower was going to be first off the board, and here we see pick number 1 being the Cold Tower.
I feel like they heard me say that, and they were like, well, now we have to prove it wrong.
You know what, though? Yeah, true, though. Yeah, you know what? Let's just start this
But see,
season
this is
just
why this is why I don't make predictions ever, because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. So, Cold Tower's right off the bat, and worth noting that Cold Tower was Death Wish's home map last season, and of course, Death Wish was our champion last season. So, I mean, if you're gonna be coming back from a break, your Creepy Daddy might, coming back. Maybe not a bad idea to go ahead and pick that right off the rip, honestly, right?
I mean, again, it's a very, I wouldn't say safe map, but that's a very comfortable map. If you're like familiar with the comp scene at all, Cold Tower is a comfortable map, I feel like.
The only thing I worry about, sorry, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The one thing I worry about is when you're talking about teams later on the season might be bringing their S tier, you're limited. So then you're like, M1s can shine because it's a smaller map, right? But you're later in the season, like that could be an issue. That's my only worry. You know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely. A lot of strategy is going to have to go into this season. One of the things I have always loved about Vigo's Court is that it's kind of like you never know what people are going to be bringing out. So you kind of have to do your best to predict what's going on.
It does look like I've got a second pick coming across. Is that what I'm seeing here?
We do. Unfortunately, Question Mark was unable to provide a rep to join us and let us know what their map pick is, but they did go ahead and message us to let us know that they are going to pick Azarov's Resting Place as their home map for this season.
Interesting. I do like the pick as far as ARP. I would say M1s still will struggle a little bit more when you have to use them on your home map, but you can also play defense as an M1 on that map, and sometimes, who knows, maybe you got the right rain dance for RNGesus to be on your side when you need it. I feel like it gives you like a lot of balance throughout your season, Yeah,
definitely. again, the fun thing about Vigos is that you never know what's going to be coming your way. And so you really have to keep track of what other people are doing, what they've brought before, even like what you think they're going to bring next. If you know your opponent well, you're going to have an edge up there because like, okay, well, I know that they can bring these killers very comfortably to these places. So like there's just a ton of strategy that goes into it. Lots of anxiety.
Chip, look, I have to ask one for the people. For the people a pick. We have 8 picks left. Can somebody in the top 10 please pick Mother's Dwelling for me? Just for the people. Proof or it didn't happen, Psycho Manus, please? I'm down for it. Mods, can we get a poll in chat? Do you think we can get one of our mods to do that? You think they'd do it? People who want to see...
I'm suffering.
Who want to see Psycho do the run of shame, you know?
Do the run of shame. Oh my god. Wow. We are going to be joined by our next team representative. It's going to be Bo2K from Swamp joining us today. How are you doing?
Yo, what is good? I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for asking.
All right, that's really nice. So, I just gotta say the map right now, right?
Pretty
you
much.
Let me know where you want to be. Where are you calling home this season?
So I think we're gonna go with Suffocation Pit.
Suffocation Pit. Another top 5 map when we talk about, on our list here off the board early. I'm sure you probably don't want to give away the farm too much, but like, if you don't mind me asking, what's kind of the thought process behind going with a map that kind of notoriously can sometimes not help you out with RNG?
So, I don't really want to say much about like our mindset, what we're thinking about it, but I think it's a fun map and interesting one we can play on.
We do love when you guys try to keep it fun and interesting, so I'm very excited to see how the season turns out for you.
Yep.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming in, giving us map number 3 already off the board. Ship, yo, our teams ain't playing around tonight. Everyone's coming in at a nice rate of pace here. I'm digging it.
Oh yeah, everyone has been on time. Really appreciate you guys so much. We're gonna see a lot of familiar faces back too. I think so. Very excited to get to talk to some new friends and some old friends. But yeah, top 3 maps, pretty much like the usual suspects. If someone doesn't pick Dead Dog and we don't see Dead Dog this season, I'm telling you now, I'm gonna cry. There you go.
I anticipate, especially with a 16 team pool, that we will definitely be on the grave of Glenvale. But I don't know if that's something that I want to take early, because I feel like right now you have other picks that would probably benefit you strength-wise a little bit. But yeah, we're definitely going to be hanging out in the wild, wild west this season. I 100% believe it.
I'm pretty sure we are going to see it, but we do have on time our next team from Azazel. We have IKEA. How are you doing today?
Hello.
What it do? How you feeling, friend?
Hello. I am good. How are you?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Look, we need to know. I need to know. Shep, you need to know, yeah?
Yes, I need to know.
Where are y'all calling home this season?
We are picking Mother's Dwelling. I'm joking. We're picking FTC.
I'm sorry, hit me with that one more time. Father Campbell's Chapel?
Father Campbell's Chapel.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Good pick.
Yo, Shep, do you have any questions?
No, but I expect to see a lot of Maurice petting this season.
Yes, please. It's a requirement. Okay.
Will do.
Perfect.
All right, homie. Well, good luck in your season. We appreciate you coming in, man. You guys are on the ball today, and we'll. I think we catch y'all here in the next couple of days. So, catch you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
So, Father Campbell's Chapel.
Honestly, that one kind of went earlier than I expected it to.
Really?
To be completely honest with you. Yeah, I don't know why I thought we were like, I knew we were going to see Father Campbell's get picked.
Right.
I didn't expect to see it get picked in our I mean, top 5 really, in our top 4 even.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, I feel like the big thing with Father Campbell's Chapel, good for you as the home team, is it's good for a lot of B tier killers. So good for you, since you're gonna have to be, obviously you're stuck to so many picks. But I think also good for you is it's a good map for B tier killers, right? So I feel like you can anticipate seeing more of the B tier killers even later on in the seasons on a map like Father Campbell's.
I mean, and I think this is a pick where it's like you're trying to play on a map that gives you the most flexibility, because you do only have, as with last season, you can only use each killer twice. So at some point, you are going to have to bring out some of those lower tier killers, and a pick like Father Campbell's Chapel is maybe setting yourself up for those moments, especially because every match you play, you do have to play one killer game on your home map, at least one.
So here's the question then. So we are now, I guess, what does that put us? 4 picks deep?
Mm-hmm. We in it, really.
We in it. So do you think this is the point where I feel like last year this was the point where we started seeing McMillan and Azarov's just like fly off the board. Are you kind of anticipating the same thing here?
I think so. Yeah, that's probably, I feel like those maps are usually like the safer picks. But we do have our next representative here from Septus. Exhibity has joined us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up, guys?
Big chilling.
To be honest, this is the first time I heard somebody say my name right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
She just took us through the dark.
I figured that was how it was said, but actually Sam told me, so you can thank him.
Ah, damn.
I know. If it makes you feel any better, that's how I would have said it anyway, but I have to be honest.
True. You can just call me Ty. It just makes everything way more easier for like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ty, like TY.
Bet.
I'm gonna forget that, but I'll try.
Nah, we got you.
All good. All right, so for the map, to be honest, we're gonna go with Groning Storehouse.
Groning Storehouse.
Okay, so
That's
sticking in the McMillan range, is it just kind of one of those things where you feel that you get the most diversity in your killer pool there, or what?
Yeah, well, for main reason for that is because we want to limit as much stages as possible if we were to go against a S-tier killer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then in terms of like survivor play, we just know that map very, very frequently because we've been in a lot of tourneys.
Okay.
So our callouts were pretty fluid in terms of like, going from deep 6 or deep 3 and like et cetera. So, in places of just like maps that getting taken, this is probably like the best one for us because those 5 picks that was before us actually kind of like,
just kind of took everything and I feel that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think Groning Storehouse is a strong pick compared to like all the other maps that's still on this list right now.
Yeah.
We just have to see it and try to work with it,
Oh man, well we look forward to it, and we look forward to seeing what you guys do this season.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Me too.
So Groning Storehouse. So we did kind of talk about like McMillan, and so do we follow up back to back McMillan here? Or do you think we go and see an Azarov coming up off the board next?
I think it depends. We still have some good McMillan maps left, but I mean, only one of our Azarov's maps has been picked. So
if you had your pick right now, what are you taking?
I mean, honestly, I'd probably go with the McMillan map. Ironworks of Misery. I hate that map, but it's still dilly. It's still an all right map option. Trying to see what our other. Actually, we have a lot of Autohaven maps left, and not a lot of McMillan maps.
See, I have my eye on a particular Autohaven map personally.
Which one are you looking at?
It's funny because when you look at the ranking, like the map options, it's a little bit further down the list. But like, I think about Gas Heaven if you have a stronger Survivor squad, kind of for the same reason we had, and I think mostly after listening in last pick talking about limiting stages against even really good killers, right? And I feel like Gas Heaven's one of those maps that you can really do that with,
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you there, but I guess we'll see what happens next. We do have our next representative here. We have Momo from Petroleum. How are you doing today?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing good. I woke up from a nap like
Oh,
30 minutes ago, so I'm
Well,
excited.
good morning.
Thank you.
right.
Okay. So I heard you guys mention Gas 7. That's exactly what we're about to do. We love Gas 7.
Wow.
Yep.
You on top of it.
We just think it's a really good map for a lot of killers. It's also really good for like limiting stages against many S tiers. Spirit, Nurse, and Blight all kind of struggle on that map just due to its size. And also, like, you know, we can pick a lot of different killers, a large variety. So out of the maps that are left, we feel as if Gas 7 would be the best for us.
I mean, whole map of Demise. You know, they weren't one of the top 4, but they were one of the ones that we thought could have a point, and they did really well on their home map. We saw really good results there, so I'm gonna be excited to see what you guys do there for sure.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Take it easy.
Thank you for
homie.
joining us.
All right, see you.
Yep, I did it. Yes, me.
Bro, I'm not good at this game. That's why I leave it to you. But I am excited to see Gas 7 picked once again. This map is very interesting because of those car walls, because of the way that you very consistently get certain generations on that map. I'm very interested to see how that turns out. And I do like that we're going to see 2 maps per match this season, so we're going to get a lot more of our a lot more usage and mileage out of these maps, so very excited about that.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of selfish on my part, but it is gonna make me feel better about the days that we have like 2 and 3 like matches back to back, and that at least now it's like 4 and 6 maps instead of like 2 and 3 maps over the course of like a Saturday.
So
you know what I mean?
but it's so hard to call the same one map for 4 games, even when you don't have several games lined up or it hasn't been a really long day. Like, there's only so much, like, there he goes running to the top left corner again, because we all know that's where the strong loop's gonna be.
Deep 6 again.
Oh no, there he goes in deep 6, because they really want this hook to be out of the way. We saw this the last 3 games. Woo! Like, there's only so much you can do. So I do really like the variety that we're going to be getting, not just for our viewers, of course, because you guys matter the most.
True though.
But like, for us on the caster side as well, it's going to make those long days really interesting. I think it's going to keep us on our toes, and I'm very excited for that. People keep talking about Badham in chat. Y'all on one, really.
You think so?
I don't know.
See, I feel
people
like
keep asking for Badham.
See,
I don't know.
here's the problem that I have with Badham. As a survivor, makes so much sense, but like, bro, don't do that to your killer, homie. Like, he's got to play how many games on Badham?
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Rip. But we do have our next representative. We have from Chronicles, Claudette and Crime. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine. Hope you too.
Oh,
We're good. Thank you so much
living
for
the
asking.
dream, man. Living the dream.
Yeah.
So the people want to know.
Season
What
3,
map?
where are you calling home? Let's
Yep.
go.
So, yeah, we're actually wondering why it's not taken so far, but we would like to take Dead Dog Saloon.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, if you look at the top 5 picks, I can see why you're saying that, right? Like at the 5, like I guess you can tell the strength that's up there. So, what's kind of you guys pretty happy that's available at this point?
Yeah, of course. We thought, we would have to take a way less comfort map for us, but yeah, and we're glad we could, take that dog, I guess.
Nice.
Well, you guys are not my new favorite, so.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, to be fair, that's my favorite map. Not just like I really like comp on that map, but I just like also like the aesthetic. It's probably my favorite. It's my favorite realm, personally.
It is the coolest map.
Yes.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what you guys do in this season, and good luck.
Oh, thank you. Have a nice evening.
You as well.
Thanks, you too.
See you.
All right. So now the top 5 picks off the board. As far as like the rankings up there, I think most people would kind of agree. Like the top 5, it would make sense that they'd all be gone by the top 7, right? Because sometimes you'll have a team preference, and like I think what we heard as far as, especially when we talk about the picks of Groaning Storehouse and Gas Heaven, even though they might fall farther down the list, I think when you talk about the strategy, it makes a lot of sense. But where are you thinking next?
I'll look at those maps that we have left. Let me let's zoom on in for my old lady eyes.
So some top ones I'll even read out, just the ones that are available at like 6, 7, 9, 8. Yeah, Blood Lodge, Rancid Abattoir, Wretched Shop, Ironworks, and Sanctum of Wrath, which was, of course, Arctic Wolves, one of our playoff teams last year.
Yeah. I'm honestly kind of surprised that Blood Lodge and Wretched Shop are still like available. Wretched Shop. However you say it.
Tomato, and IMO, you know what I'm saying?
Tomato.
Yeah.
I'm surprised one of those hasn't already gone. Yeah, I feel like again, either one of those or maybe even Ironworks. Rancid always is such a weird subject to me. I don't know about Rancid.
Yeah, I feel like Rancid is one of those that you just have to make sure that your M1 killer is better than everyone else's M1 killer. If you're comfortable going there, you know what I mean? If you go to Rancid, I mean, we did see Demise do very well out of there last year and kind of was a sleeper team. I feel like they kind of came under the radar up until what, like 2/3 of the way through the year, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's how a lot of last season went, though. What I really loved about last season, what I think made it the most memorable for me, was at the beginning we were like, oh, I think these teams are going to be the ones that we see in the finals. And then as we got closer to finals, we were kind of more like, I don't even know. They all switched it up on us.
And I'm going to say it because I know if I don't say it, we would never hear the end of it. To be fair, nobody saw Death Wish coming other than Rambo.
Oh my God. Yeah, Death Wish.
He was on the Death Wish train like weeks 7, 8, something like that. And like we were like, nah, dog, like it ain't happening.
But it was only because I think a lot of us felt that way because they were coming in and inheriting such a bad record, and we were like, they're good.
True.
But we've seen some really good teams so far. And yeah, actually D did call it. D called it from day one as soon as they joined. Like, I know Sam was kind of like, well, they're inheriting a bad record, so we'll probably see some good games, but I don't know if we're going to see them up at the top. And D did call it. I was kind of just like, I don't know these people, so.
Well, then I remember what was crazy is they joined up, and then let's say they like took down like Agony or something like that, in like the DBD League like Halloween tournament or something like that. And we're like, oh well, okay, hold on, wait a minute, you know. And again, like I feel like we started getting on the train towards the end of the year, but I feel like we had seen such a dominance from a couple of teams like Arctic Wolves, like Six, where I don't think we expected to see anyone close the gap. You know what I mean? I think that was part of it for us, and we definitely got proven wrong.
And just for an update, you guys, we are waiting on a representative or word from our next team, Rebirth. So that's what the holdup is here. They do have 1 minute left before we move on to our next team.
If I had to guess, Rebirth is probably sitting down right now and having a last-second conversation with these maps on the board, right? Kind of, because a couple of them could give you some benefits in a couple of different ways, especially because when you talk about, I know that they're falling like in the middle of our pack, and some people would be like, "Yo, is this the team that everyone's sleeping on? Really in the middle of the pack?" But Rebirth. I don't want anyone's. I think they're a team to watch out for to come playoff time, and if they can get themselves, there's a couple maps on the board left that I feel like could really work in their favor.
Yeah, honestly, there is not a single team here that I'm like, oh, they're probably going to fall. Like, I feel like we're going to see kind of the same thing as last season, just on a bigger scale. That it's going to be a very tight race from day one to those finals.
Really?
And it does look like Rebirth they were unable to join us in the casting room, unfortunately, but they were able to let us know what map they were selecting, and Rebirth has decided to go with Torment Creek. That's a map. I hate Torment Creek, though. That's just a me. That's just a me thing. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Ultimate Mind. I mean, to be fair, Rebirth has some experience coming to the table and on some. I mean, when you have somebody like Nightlight, who's like before becoming known as like a really strong Nurse and Blight player, like known for some strong Evan and some strong Evan and even some strong Kenneth gameplay. So it is a map where you can, on some more of your M1s flex a little bit more and expect that people are going to be bringing more of the M1 killers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think an interesting pick, and it shows a little bit of confidence on their side, I feel like. So I'm excited to see how that works out for them this season. It's going to be very interesting.
I got to be honest, what was not on the list of where my head was at, thinking they're coming down the list here. I mean, Torment Creek, also too, is one of those maps where, you can play around. Even with some of your other M1 killers, I'm not sure as far as if they got like a super strong pyramid head. Billy could do decent, I guess, but
I guess, unfortunately, we'll just have to wait and see. I know I'm a very impatient person, so I'm excited to see what's going to come up this season. But we do have our next representative here. We have a Jukebox from Modern Retro. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Vibing.
Man, I'm big vibing. I'm honestly very excited. I think now that we're finally in like map draft, for me, I'm like, the season's finally here and I'm pumped, and it's very excited to see how it's folding out. So where are you guys calling home for season 3?
We are going to take Rancid Abattoir.
Okay.
All right, the abattoir itself.
That is one of our playoff teams' home maps last year. Where's y'all's head at? Is it just because that's what's best of what's left, or was that kind of what you were hoping to get, or?
It was probably in like our top 5 choices.
Yeah.
And we just feel like a lot of killers are very strong on that map, especially killers that we play on our team very well. And so we feel like we'll just be really comfortable on that.
Dig. I'm feeling.
I like to hear it. Yeah, very excited to see what you guys are able to do this season.
Yeah, man. Good luck, and we'll be hearing or seeing from you guys here soon.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you, guys.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Very interesting. I feel like every time someone picks a map, I was like, I don't think I expected that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Rancid is a map that I feel like kind of got slept on last year, and I feel like it helped Demise a little bit because I feel like most teams weren't sure what to bring out, and I feel like sometimes that indecision, even if you have a week to prepare for it, can lead to some problems game day. Whereas if you're consistently doing it, you at least have a game plan like going in.
I feel like Rancid, like the one thing with Rancid is that main building can be a real big pain in the ass for a lot of killers. So I feel like maybe it's not so much as like slept on, but like if you don't have to deal with that main building, why would you?
Yeah.
So that's interesting, and I'm very excited to see what they do with that. Again, I'm feeling a lot of confidence here. And I do like seeing this map be played on. Because outside of that main building, like you do also have like the cornfields and then like just such sparse resources.
Yeah, you kind of have to you have to make the most of what you get, right?
Yeah. It's very interesting.
So we still have one more in order to have what was it? Red Forest in the top 10 for the Psycho Manus thing? Was that right? One last chance. We have one last shot.
We're holding out hope for you.
At this point, we're talking about the best of the rest. Just do it for the vine, right? That's what the kids still do these days, right? Doing it for the.
The vines haven't been a thing for a while, Q.
Well, happens.
Okay, it's all right. We'll recover from this.
So I do feel like though when I'm looking at what's left, I wouldn't be surprised to see Blood Lodge taken soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Ironworks taken soon.
Yeah, I feel like of our options left, those are the better options. Of course, you still got Wretched Shop. Thompson House, we saw some gameplay on there. Yeah, otherwise, like, I don't know, Family Residence is just a large map. Sanctum, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sanctum go, honestly, kind of soon. Maybe we see Arctic Wolves take that back.
True. I mean, we saw them do very, very well there last year. I mean, I know that they've had some roster changes, if I'm not mistaken, right, from last year.
Yes.
But I feel like one thing that Sanctum gives you, especially for a team that is picking, you know, in this point in the middle of the bunch, is it gives you consistency, right? Like you usually are looking at a 3-1-3 setup. Sometimes it's just more about the middle gen on top or bottom side of the map. Where does it rotate more towards the mid, or is it more just straight 3 across, like on the outskirts, you know?
Yeah.
But otherwise it at least gives you a lot of consistency, which is not a bad thing when you're talking about for a home map.
Yeah, very predictable. I think the hardest thing I've noticed with that map is sometimes the shack spawns can be really unreliable, and like what you get around your shack area as far as like resources. Otherwise, yeah, very consistent map. You can always rely on certain things to be there. So, surprised to see Sanctum still up as well. I guess we'll just see though. Maybe we'll be surprised. I see people still calling for Batum. Someone called for Ormond. Honestly, I like Ormond.
You think so?
But, well, I have various reasons for liking Ormond. So, I don't think it's a great map for comp. I just think it's fun.
I mean, to be fair, I think Ormond, and I also think, think Ormond, and I see, you had talked about, not Sanctum of Wrath, the other one, Family Residence. For me, I also see those maps, and I think kind of similar to like we saw with Gas Heaven and Groaning Storehouse. Like, you can prevent stages on a good killer coming in if you're confident in your survivor squad, right? It does, of course, in turn also like require a lot of confidence in your killer, because you have to say like, hey, like, I understand I'm putting you through this often, and I'm gonna need you to fight through it, but I expect, since you're doing it often, that you have a game plan even with like your traditional M1 killer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And we are coming down to the wire for Millennium. They have not been able to get with us yet, so we're waiting the last couple seconds here. It does look like, unfortunately, we weren't able to get a representative from them or get into contact with them, so they are being assigned Blood Lodge.
Blood Lodge. And, you know,
It could be worse.
It could be worse. Honestly, not a bad. If you're not going to show up for a map pick, you could definitely be getting worse of maps. So, Blood Lodge being available is good.
Eerie Crows.
Well, yeah, not only that, but like if you had already had a team pick, or if you had already had a team pick, like let's say who picked Torment, if they would have picked Blood Lodge, which I feel like would have made sense there. Just throwing that out there, and we're gonna hold that on for a clip for an end this season nugget. But then what happens? You pick Ret Shop, because I feel like Ret Shop is one of those maps when you look at the strength on the list, kind of is up a little bit higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's a very like safe thing to be like. That's a very safe map to be assigned. Blood Lodge is an interesting one, and I feel like not too many restrictions on who you can bring there. A lot of killers do really well on that map, so
yeah, exactly.
I think they kind of lucked out there.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse here. So what does that mean? That's top 10 here. So now we're going to pick number 11. 6. Man, yo, they are cruising today. Big shout out to our teams showing up, showing out, and keeping things a rolling here. I know I appreciate it. So
I also absolutely appreciate it as well. And speaking of keeping the ball rolling, we do have our next representative. We do have Dan from Eternal joining us. How are you doing today?
Hello, man. I'm doing fine.
Dan!
Hello, Q. Hello, Q.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, bro. I love your casting, man.
Hey, I appreciate you so much. So, look, you're number 11, and you've got some tasty picks available. So I need to know, the people need to know, for season number 3, where are you calling home?
Yeah, Eternal is gonna be picking Sanctum of Wrath.
Sanctum? Right, that's a solid pick. the solid pick gave you a lot of consistency. What's kind of the what's your thought process? Or do you?
Well, a lot of maps were picked, so
Yeah.
it's kind of the best that's left.
That's fair. Were you guys
fair.
expecting this to be available when you guys came around?
Not really. We just looked like after like eight people picked, we were okay. This is what we're gonna pick probably, and we got it.
Solid. Well, I look forward to seeing what you guys do this season. We appreciate. I know it's kind of late for you, so we appreciate you staying up late and hanging out with us.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Shep, Sanctum of Wrath, now off the
Sanctum
board.
of Wrath, now off the board. Yeah. Surprised to see that getting picked over like Ironworks or Wretched Shop. Also not really that surprised because those maps are fucking miserable, but
Yeah, I feel like when I'm looking at the maps, like list here, honestly, like they do kind of stick out to me as like,
yeah.
why are these this high? You know what I mean?
To
No, go
to
ahead.
be fair,
To be fair.
I don't know. I feel like Wretched Shop. I mean, I think there are just better options. Wretched Shop is a really weird map. And Ironworks. Ironworks just sucks.
I mean, hey, at least you don't have to worry about boons, right?
Yeah, at least you don't have to worry about boons. So I think honestly that makes this map
A little bit
not
more
as
bearable.
great. Yeah, a little bit more bearable. Not as strong for the survivors. I don't know. I both am and am not surprised to see these maps kind of still sticking around, but we're gonna keep this ball rolling because our teams are on top of it today. We have Wispy from Astray joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Big
Doing
chilling,
all right.
homie. Excited to see where you. I mean, I know like at this point you're kind of limited, obviously based off of the teams that have been picked. But where you guys calling home for season 3?
I'm thinking we're gonna do Ratchet Shop.
Red Shop, really?
Red Shop. All right.
Yep.
It was that
You
kind
know
of
what?
what you were expecting to. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to jump right in.
No, you go. You go.
Was that what you were expecting to kind of be available around this point, or is it just kind of like what's available?
Yeah, it's basically what's available. We were planning to do Blood Lodge, but got taken like 2 teams ago. So.
Damn, so close.
There goes.
Well, you guys had a really good performance. Not as a Stray last season, but on your various teams from last season. So I am sure that this season is going to be just as good, and we're very excited to see what you guys do with Wretched Shop.
Yeah, I know. I think they're gonna be a team that definitely shouldn't be slept on. So I look forward to seeing what y'all do, Wispy.
Okay.
Easy. Red Shop. I really wouldn't have. I wouldn't.
We were just talking about. I don't know. I feel like in that situation, honestly, I would have picked Ironworks over Wretched Shop. Wretched Shop is just kind of like that's such a difficult map.
Yeah, but
I
I
feel
mean,
like.
you did mention though, right? Like they've got a lot of experience on their squad. I mean, on both sides of the matchmaking, really. But when you talk about their survivor side, I feel like they should be able to consistently put pressure on to whatever killer's coming in. It's gonna be one of those things where it's like you're going against that roster. So like, do I bring an S tier? But like, should I? You know what I mean? And I think that's gonna be a decision that like with that squad, I feel like they can cause some damage for some people coming in and facing them off there. So I'm
Oh yeah.
curious.
Very, very interesting. Not worried about them though. I think they're going to do fine. And we are going to move right on along with our next team. Slow Galeo of Ruby Wolves is joining us here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Slow. Wait. You talking about season? What? That's our MVP from last season, right?
Pretty sure
You
that is
can't
our
gas up
MVP
our
from last
MVP a little
season.
bit more when he's coming in to pick for this season. Yo, Slow.
You, I leave that to you. I leave that to you. You're our hype man.
No, so Slow, I'm excited. I know obviously picking this late, a lot of maps are off the board. But where are you guys going?
I'm honestly very surprised that this is even still available, but Ruby Wolves will be calling Thompson House their home.
Thompson House.
Huh? No, I mean I can see it. Well, so is it more? Are you thinking more for your killer side or more for your survivor side? That map.
I mean, honestly, for us, it's more of a fun map to be on. We didn't really decide if it's more for survivors, but I mean, it's definitely a little bit more for survivors as you kind of have a lot of tiles around main building.
but it's generally a fun map to be on according to us. So, yeah, it's an even playing field when you're on the same map. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Well, I look forward to it. I mean, obviously you guys are restricted on your picks here for a reason. So, name that we're gonna definitely be on the lookout for throughout the season.
I hope so.
Definitely looking forward to what you guys do this season.
All right, so you have yourself a good evening, and we'll be seeing from y'all soon.
All right, good evening, guys.
All right, so Thompson House.
Honestly, I am kind of surprised we didn't see that one go a little sooner. Also, I'm not really seeing any maps that I'm surprised to see being picked. That was kind of the last one I was waiting for to see go. The rest of these, I mean, you know,
where's my Batum picking? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I think here's where
I think we're gonna get a Batum pick. I think, honestly.
Well,
what's left at this point?
Of what's left, though, I mean, we do have to remember, Demise with an S, was able to do pretty well with Pale Bros at the end of the season because there's the desync issue going on there on Rancid for quite a bit at the end part of the season.
Yeah.
So they're able to see some success out there. I feel like for teams that are this deep, after the rework, I know a lot of people who like have been around the block for a hot minute have their feelings about the name Ormond, but I don't think it's as bad for the killer. And if it's for killers with some diversity in their killer pool, I can see that being a valid option.
Yeah, I think it just depends. That's Ormond's like dog shit for Blight. Pardon my language, but not a good map for Blight. So that immediately kind of takes out.
But then
takes
that
a very
means you don't
special
have to
kind of
see
person,
Blight, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like you don't have to worry about Blight unless I don't know it's someone who's just specifically cracked that Blight on Ormond for some ungodly reason.
Right.
But then also I guess that means you can save Blight for other games, but I don't know. That's also just kind of like an awkward map. It's kind of large.
I mean, because at this point, our three last teams are all returning from last season, right? We've got Arctic Wolves, we've got Six, we've got Death Wish. And I mean, really, if you look at it, Astray's got a lot of returners from last season as well. I mean, you can say the same as far as like Ruby Wolves, at least, too. So, Arctic Wolves last year had Sanctum of Wrath. Wrath. That's Wrath, right?
Wrath. Yeah, okay. It's Wrath. Sanctum of Wrath.
Where do you think they go here?
You know, I'm really bad at guessing, so I'm not going to because we actually have a representative from Arctic Wolves joining us in the room.
Cheating.
It's a cop-out, but I'm going to take it. Second minutes. How are you doing today?
Salutations, everybody. It's been an interesting draft. Been waiting to see what we're going to get stuck with here.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to expect it, right?
First of all, I will say this. If Ironworks was picked here, you guys would have had a mildly spicy pick happen right here. Because we're going to pick Ironworks here. That's our map choice, first of all. But if Ironworks was picked here instead of Thompson House, we were actually probably going to play Temple.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so that is kind of spicy.
Almost had a spicy pick, but we're going with Ironworks. It's available. It's a lot more solid of an overall map.
How dare you let me down?
Oh, like Ruby Wolves.
Nah, good. Well, fair. Okay, you know what? Fair. Interesting map picks.
So you say if they picked or Ironworks instead of Thompson House, you would have gone Temple of
More than likely, yes.
Really?
More than likely, yes. A lot of our players on our teams aren't as big a fan of the other maps that are available for various different reasons. Ironworks kind of is semi-balanced for M1s. It's not great for M1s, and just like the whole. You could still get away with playing just about everything on Ironworks, even though some killers are stronger on it, obviously, than others. There's things almost every killer can do on Ironworks. That's why, out of what's left, at least.
I am going to be very interested to see. Obviously you guys are coming with some experience, and obviously know how things go down here with the killer pick. So y'all probably have a strategy, and I'm gonna be interested to see what it comes down to. So we look forward to seeing y'all soon. Right. So now that means we've had 14 picks, and whoever ranked our maps here obviously knows what they're talking about, because our teams have picked 13 of the top 14. So
to be fair, looking at what is left, I don't envy our final two teams for the decisions they are going to have to make, because none of these are going to be a good time, I feel like. I mean, but you know what? They're our last two picks for a reason. They had really strong performances last season as well as in qualifiers. So I mean, if it had to be anyone, it had to be them. They're probably going to be the better or the best equipped to deal with the hands they are going to be dealt. But ooh, I don't envy them.
Yeah, that's this is tough here. I mean, I know I'd mentioned Orman. I anticipate Orman's getting picked up. I don't know if I feel Grim Pantry. Only reason I really don't feel Grim Pantry is because, like,
honestly,
dog, I don't feel like searching for ruin on Grim Pantry. You know what I'm saying?
You know why I don't feel Grim Pantry? Because Grim Pantry is an awful map. But we don't have to wait for very much longer. We have Washed from 6 here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Big
Doing all right.
Chill and Wash. So, well, I mean, there have been 14 maps picked, so you're kind of, you know, stuck with picking the best of the rest. So, where are you going?
I'm consulting with my advisors now. It's
Very good.
probably
Very
gonna
well.
be family residence. There's a slim chance it's Area of Crows because of the survivor mains on our team.
Roll the dice.
Wait, y'all really thinking Area of Crows, huh? I kinda want y'all to pick
Potentially. I mean, it's like a pretty easy 0 to 3 stage map. It should be.
Yeah, but then you're putting that pressure on your killer every round, right?
Yeah, that'd be a lot of pressure. My advisor told me to pick family residence, so that's what we're going with.
That's where we're going, huh? It's still kind of the same thought though process, I'm guessing. Like, we can put some pressure down on the survivor side, limit even whenever teams feel like they have to come in with S tiers, kind of limit those stages as well.
I picked family residence because I think it's probably the most balanced map out of the rest of them. A lot
That's
of
super
them
fair.
Are like huge or have horrible main buildings or are cowshed, but family residence is like kind of normal. The only problem is just that it's a bit big.
Right.
Well, we are definitely glad to see you guys returning this season, and we look forward to watching you guys work.
Yep, look forward to playing.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys soon. Good luck.
Gotcha.
All right. 15 picks down. And might I say, 15 picks in when you include how long it took for us to shut our mouths and actually move into the picks. Less than an hour. Big shout out to our teams showing up, being prepared, and letting this thing move along. Let's keep this up during the season, yeah? No, but for real, big shout out to
Please do
everyone.
on time for your matches.
Yeah, no, but for real, big shout out to everyone for this has been moving along. This has gone so well. But for the last pick, now I'm curious.
I know, I'm looking at the options left and I'm like, oh god.
Well, because Death Wish is our returning, champion. We had just heard how it should be a very easily like a low stage game on that map.
You think they're gonna pick Erie?
I mean, what?
I mean,
I know what's funny, right? Is like Orman's still on the board. I'm like, oh yeah, Orman should be off the board like 3 picks ago, and like here we are with Orman at pick 16. I'm like, but anything but Orman? No, no. I just think I think taking that process down and then also knowing some of the killers that they do have makes me think that those are the killers who might be able to come with a, ace in the hole, trick up the sleeve, and like be able to get some big stages on that map. You know what I mean?
maybe, but we do also have maps such as Disturbed Ward still left. I mean, Cowshed, but nobody really likes Cowshed, so I'm not surprised that hasn't been picked.
All right, so I'm seeing drum roll, please.
Adam.
So I'm guessing that means we must be getting close, right? That's what I mean. Actually, well, I guess we don't have a delay, so it's only a couple seconds. Yeah, drum roll, please. We are
close.
Oh, what is it?
Because we do have Dark from Deathwish joining us. How are you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Big chillin'. We are down to pick 16. I do not envy you guys for what is left on the pool, but I do also anticipate with what we saw from y'all last season that y'all are up for the challenge. So I need to know, season 3, where y'all calling home?
It's a tough pick. A lot of fun options here.
Yeah.
Big bad him and give Osaka a really fun season. But I think we're gonna go with Temple.
Temple of
Purgation.
Purgation. Said we gonna be purgating all over that thing this season. What's the is it just more of the limiting stages thought process, or what do you? Well, I mean, to be fair, before we move too far, Shep, remember we saw some like 12 hook 4Ks on this map from like Billies and Huntresses last season. So
We also, in particular, I was involved in a what was it, Nemesis like 4K on that map. So
well,
very
what's your
interesting
thought process
option.
there, Dark?
We're just looking for a map that we're not gonna get bored of, you know?
That's fair.
Very fair.
That's
I
fair.
think if we practice some of those other maps, we would play for a few games and then just everyone be done.
Nah,
so.
I'm bad. I don't even want to go back to school. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, I mean, obviously returning champs, y'all are in the last slot here, so we know we're expecting big things from you. I hope the bullseye on the back doesn't become too much to bear, my friend.
For sure.
Have yourself.
Do you guys? Wait, I have a question. Wait. So you guys did come in pretty late last season. You inherited a really terrible record. Not terrible. Sorry, that's not that. You guys did not inherit the greatest record.
Yeah.
But then you came in and kind of went on a tear through the rest of the season. Do you guys expect your performance to kind of be similar this upcoming season?
This season's gonna be a lot harder. There's a few really big names now, but I don't know. We're just gonna do our best and hopefully repeat last season. I don't know.
I think if anyone can do it, it's you guys. You guys are our winners of last season for a reason. So we look forward to seeing what you bring to the table.
For sure. Thank you guys.
Take it easy, homie. So it is interesting, Shep. I was looking at the schedule here for Death Wish. And did you know that even though they came in late last season, I would agree, had acquired a very bad record, I would say.
It was not.
Wasn't great.
Not only was their win-loss record not great, they
Their
were
killer
down
pool.
a lot of their killer, like a lot of their, like, I think they were out-nursed completely.
I think
by
they
that
were
point.
out-nursed and they had used one of their blight. Or it was vice versa. They
Yeah.
had used their blight and had one of their nurses. One of the two.
No, I'm pretty sure they had used they were completely out-nursed because I think they, whose record did they inherit? It was,
They didn't
Corrupt.
get 4 blights, did they? They got corrupts?
They got Sample Text and Corrupt's record.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Nurse was just completely out for them by the time they joined us.
So, and obviously, too, a lot of teams are going to be coming in gunning. I would even say for a lot of the top, honestly, the top 5 teams, because it's interesting, even though Death Wish taking the 16th pick here because the returning champion, when we look at preseason power rankings, they were number 5. So
very interesting, yeah.
It's one of those things where it got brought up as how much stronger the league is this year, right? So our returning champion, when you look at the power rankings, even though we expect them to, finish at the top of their conference, being number 5 in the power ranking, it'll be interested to see how things turn out this year.
I am too. This season, we have expanded beyond what we were doing last season. We have a lot of really great teams who came out for qualifiers and joined us. A lot of really great teams were able to come through and make it into Gallows League. So I think it's going to be a very exciting season, to say the least, just because of who has joined us here today. I feel like it's going to be a very exciting season, especially considering how well Deathwish did. Their performance was just incredible last season, and yeah, you're right. Like, they are ranked only number 5 in our ranking, our power ranking right now. So I think I'm very excited Very, very excited to see how the season goes.
Yeah, I know. Even though I'm kind of happy as far as that we took the longer break, because I know I just got back from vacation and I'm going to be going somewhere for Easter this weekend. But
Easter.
At the same time, I have been very much like anticipating like the start of this season. Seeing like some of the teams as they were, even just like before we got into qualifiers, seeing the teams registering and like seeing people. One, I kind of figured with the prize pool and everyone saw how awesome the competition was towards the end last year. I wasn't surprised to see it, but then when you keep seeing more and more talent showing up, and you're like, yo, next season is gonna be lit. And now we're here where we've got the map draft, we've got preseason games starting in what, 2 days?
Yep. We are kicking off our preseason very shortly here, you guys. Make sure that you have, first of all, if you for some reason aren't following us on Twitch, you really should be. Go ahead, hit that follow button. Go ahead, turn those notifications on so you don't miss a single game. If you guys want to keep up with our schedule, you can also join our Discord by typing !Discord in chat. You guys can go ahead, join there. Keep up with what's going on with our teams, with our schedule.
Sorry. I felt like I was starting to do. I was pointing to chat, and I started to feel like a flight attendant. So I had to do the buckle thing.
Yeah, buckle your seatbelts. Yeah, absolutely, guys, buckle your seatbelts because this season is going to be a wild ride, and it's gonna be a super exciting one. If you guys were able to catch any of like either of the finals from our qualifiers, they were such good games. So
I mean, you know what? We are so stacked with talent that even Death Row is going to be lit this year. So I can't wait.
I'm excited for Death Row. Yeah, I'm biased, but I'm excited for Death Row.
So we've got games. It looks like I think 1 and 3 on Friday, then a couple games on Saturday, and then
I think we have
one couple Sunday as well. I think potentially. You guys
I
do?
believe
I'm not gonna be available.
So we don't have a Thursday game, do we?
No Thursday game.
Okay, yeah. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we do have games.
Yeah, so we're gonna have those. If you haven't, smack the follow button, turn the notifications on there. That way you can make sure you're back here whenever we come back for the next one. But man, 16 teams. We've got maps done. We've only been picking for about an hour because we started talking a lot in the early part of the game, part of our session here. So. I guess we're not convicting anybody of murder, so I guess Shep, is that it? Is that everything?
I think we've done it.
Do you want to you want to say goodbye to the peeps, right? Say this.
Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today. We hope you are as excited as we are for this upcoming season. It is going to be a great one. We are bumping up everything from our production to our staffing to the teams are going to be really great. It's going to be fucking fantastic.
We got
you guys,
some new faces coming to the desk that I think are going to be that people are going to be loving. So I am hyped. We're 2 days away. So until we catch y'all back here next time, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard, love harder. That's Shep. I'm Q. Rest of Vigos. Take it easy. Signing out.
That was a missed decisive strike. So before the first gen even pops.
And we do see Death Wish convicted of murder here, as you can see by the score to the final set.